In this video, I'm going to review the new Grin electric kit made specifically for the Brompton G line. As you know, I'm not a fan of this particular model. It has big wheels, not as big as this one. I think this is a 55-inch wheel for insane people for whom no wheel size is big enough. As far as the G line is concerned, this is about what it looks like. And Grin has really done a lot of work to create a kit that could be installed, and the installation is a lot tougher than it used to be. This on the left side that you see is the Grin kit for the small bike. That's the one I have. I have the small classic frame and I installed this kit on it. I have a lot of positive to say about this kit, but also some criticisms. And of course, I cannot help noticing the weaknesses in the Brompton G line as a whole. So let's go step by step. The first thing you see is that you have a lot more space for the installation of a motor. And this is what it looks like. Obviously, it's way bigger than what you have with the standard G line electric, which installs a teeny tiny motor in the rear, which of course makes it impossible to use a rear hub gear set, which limits your gear range to the extreme. So the standard Brompton G line electric only has 250 watts, only a single wheel, the rear wheel is powered, and you only have 4 gears not spaced that far apart from each other. In this case, with the Grin kit, you have a front drive. By the way, they do have a rear drive option with a special gear set that they have made. If for any reason somebody would insist on installing this kit in the rear, they can, and it's still gonna be a whole lot better and more powerful than this stock G line electric. But I just don't see why somebody would want a rear wheel driven bike if this is gonna be for off-roading or adventuring, going far away, rough pavement and so on. You are much better off with an all-wheel drive configuration, which would mean that you would install it in the front. And of course, front installations are also a lot easier. You don't have to deal with the gears because the gears are in the rear. Check out this torque arm. In previous videos, I explained why I think they moved the motor to the rear because these new forks are so feeble that they would actually break off. Grin is thinking along the same lines. So there is this massive torque arm which distributes the pressure of a powerful motor along much of the fork. So you're not just applying the pressure down here where the screw is, but alongside much of the fork. And this is to prevent the bending or breaking of the fork itself. You see this massive torque arm over here as well. For battery, they have a modular system which is way more flexible than what Brompton is giving you. They enable anybody who installs this kit to reduce the size of the battery so that flights would become legal. Unfortunately, flights restrict the carrying of batteries so much that even if you take a small battery with you, even if it's legal or whatever, you're not gonna get much of a range in that foreign or even domestic location where you are flying with your bike. So you're only gonna be able to use the battery for maybe 20-mile, 25-mile range. If you want a serious battery pack for your next trip, it's best to simply mail a real full-size battery to the hotel or resort or wherever you are staying beforehand. Unfortunately, the pedal sensor is a complicated one. You have to remove the bottom bracket and install a new one. There are some bike shops that might do this for you, so long that you pay cash or guarantee that you're not gonna take them to court for some installation errors. They are not installing the entire kit, they are only installing the bottom bracket. They are also insisting upon this throttle, which I don't like. I installed throttles on my configuration and I found that this feeling of riding a moped instead of a bicycle makes everything more complex, unnecessarily so. It simply confuses the mind because is this a moped or is this something you are pedaling? I just don't see why somebody would want to have both. It is true that you are quicker accelerating off the line at a stop sign or a red light if you have a throttle, but I don't think that the complexity is worth it. As you can see, the display is the new multicolor display. This is available with the newer kit, even for the small bodied Brompton bikes. It is a cool kit, but it has a lot of complexity because now part of the computing has been removed from this handlebar unit into something they are calling the Superharness, and that's located in the center column with a lot of wires. You have a lot of wires for this kit. Here you see the installation. It is fairly straightforward. It is best if you buy a wheel kit from them so that the whole thing comes complete. All you need to do is remove the old wheel, switch the tire over onto the new one, install it, and connect the cables. That's all you need to do. An interesting feature is that the controller is located here, right next to the torque arm. And the installation you get with this looks really butch and massive. So this big motor in the front with the torque arm and the controller mounted looks really massive. I actually like it. I think it looks way better than the stock Brompton. This is what it looks like. I think it's a very cool looking installation, as much as I do not like the frame. I think the arch is overdone. It looks like you have been in a collision, but it certainly looks way better than the other one. And it is also way more powerful, but I will get to that later in the video. Much of the installation is fairly standard. That's the Superharness that you see in his hand right now. It mounts very precisely onto the center column, and they have designed an adapter for it. It's pretty neat. There are a lot of wires, but it's pretty neatly done. In fact, you can see that hole on the frame, and some of the wires you can even run inside the frame if you so wish, which is pretty cool. But overall, you are going to have more wires than you would have with the standard G electric. So I guess this is some of the price that you have to pay for a much more capable and much more powerful kit. You connect the motor to the controller and the rest of the bike with that single cable. That has not changed compared to the other kits they have made for the small bodied Bromptons. The one thing I have to add here is that they sell with the kit their own disc brake disc, because apparently the original is just not going to mount onto this motor, so this is something you also have to pay for. Unfortunately, the pedal sensor, which we used to do so easily just with a clip-on disc, has been changed. So now you have a torque sensor which requires the replacement of the bottom bracket. That requires either a separate set of tools you would have to buy, and quite a bit of work, especially if you don't have the easel that you see here to hold the bike steady, or you could take it to a shop, but it better be a good shop. It cannot be a neighborhood around the corner bike shop where they barely know what they are doing with cheaper bikes. An expensive project like this one should be taken to a high-end shop if that's your choice. And the installation is definitely not that easy. They might charge maybe an hour of labor. Don't try to hire people to install the entire kit. That's going to take a lot of hours. You just want them to replace the bottom bracket with this new one and to put back the crank so that the system can be connected to the rest of the bike. Once everything is installed, your fold is not affected. The fold is actually quite neat despite the massive size of this bicycle. And here you have a bit of comparison. A comparison between the Grin kit that you see on the left and the G-Line Electric as it comes stock on the right. I should point out the advantages of this kit. You have a vastly more powerful motor, a modular battery pack which can be extended to be very big and to give you a very long range, like up to really without limits, because you can carry extra modules with yourself. The other thing is this one has brake regeneration installed, which means you're not going to be using your disc brakes all that much, and when you use them, the front wheel you can definitely freeze with the combination of the electronic brake installed in the kit and the hydraulic disc brake that that comes with the bike. In addition, the Grin kit is a powerful open system. You can configure, overclock, and tune the system using the computer, which is something you're never going to do with a Brompton. All they have is typically 3 levels: low, medium, and high, which basically limits the power. That measly little 250 watt kit, so that at low level you would get, I don't know, 75 watts or whatever, and then it goes up to 150. At the crazy level, as Tesla would call it, you get the full power of the motor, which in the case of the Brompton electric would be only 250 watts of power. Not the case with the Grin, and you'll be surprised when you see the specs on that kit. To find the kit, follow the link below, go to my shop, and I have an Amazon storefront and a bunch of other things, but there is this button for items not on Amazon. It's kind of a stupid name, I don't know how to call it. You click here, and that's gonna give you Grin Technologies. You click over here. That's gonna take you to the kits for the small wheel Bromptons. So you have to go around a little bit. It's under the other kits. Under other kits you go to Brompton, and that's where you see the new label here. This is what you want. This is the G-Line kit. And let me go over to what you have and how much this costs. First of all, you have this big motor, and check out the power of that motor. If you go down and click on the product detail page, you're gonna go here and you can go straight to motor power. With Statorade, which is a cooling liquid that costs a few dollars extra, I have it in my motor. You should definitely get it. You're talking about 1800 watts. That's insane. 1800 watts continuous. I'm not even considering the peak, that it can peak higher than that. Compare 250 watts that Brompton is giving you to something that's roughly 7 times as much power, 1800. And this is without any overclocking. I really don't think you want to overclock this. You have plenty of power, but you can overclock if you want to. So you have an insanely powerful motor. Some of them are on back order, so I wonder how much time you have to wait to actually get a kit like this, especially in the US, but it looks like some of them are in stock. This is the massive torque arm to prevent your fork from breaking and to hold the controller. You definitely have to have that. You have to have the disc because it's custom. And this is the rim and the spokes. Sapim is as good as it gets. They build nice wheels. They built a very good wheel for me, and they were even willing to custom color the rim itself for $50, so I can't complain. This is the controller, kind of similar to the Z9 I have, but it has more wires because it's supporting the new Superharness. As far as the display is concerned, probably most people are gonna go for this medium display. You can get the tiny one. The tiny one is really very convenient. You hardly see anything. You just see roughly how much of a charge you still have in the battery and your speed, and not much else. I don't think most people will go for it. And then there is the large display, and this is a bit too bulky, the same problem that we had with the first generation ones. So I think you're going to go with the medium sized option. This is what most people are going to use. And of course you need to have the Superharness and a bunch of attachments to mount the Superharness on your stem. And here is something I disagree with. I don't use a throttle. I don't recommend that you use it, but it only costs $38, so who cares? You cannot not buy it. There's a bidirectional one. I wonder if this allows you to brake if you turn the throttle forward. I'm not sure, but I know that this particular button can be programmed to change a variety of things, like to change your wattage on the fly and so on. And here's the pedal sensor. The old-fashioned pedal sensor that you could just pop onto the exterior of the bottom bracket is not available. This is pretty expensive and complicated to install, but it's also very durable. With my external pop-on disc, I have sometimes some dirt or foliage that falls in there, so I have to clean it, but it's just a much easier kit than this one. This one is a serious installation, and you may have to hire a professional to do it. Now here they are setting you up. Originally they set you up with the 3. I adjusted that to 6. I think 6 is gonna go much farther than this, but it's gonna make the kit more expensive. These LIGO modules are not cheap. It's great that you can interconnect them, but they are not cheap. They are also only 36 volts. I have a 48 volt system. And by the way, you can buy a 48 volt battery from somebody else and reconfigure the computer and it's going to work. If you have batteries, you're going to have a charger to charge them. Not sure about the rail. I don't think that's necessary to have. The rest of it is not very important. I should mention that you definitely want to purchase the Statorade to go with the hub motor because that's a coolant liquid. It distributes heat within the unit and that allows you to go so much faster with a lot more power. So without the Statorade, your motor is 5 times as powerful as the standard Brompton G-Line electric. With Statorade, that goes to 7 times more powerful. So I would definitely get that. Let's look at the price of what we have here. It's not cheap. You're looking at $3,000. Since you have to pay for the installation of the bottom bracket or have to get tools and stuff, it's probably going to go up to $3,000. If you compare the original Brompton thing, it is cheaper. If you go with the kit, you have to pay $3,500 plus $3,000 for the kit. That's going to be a total of $6,500. That's almost the price of a high quality Riese und Müller Tinker bike, already fully assembled, everything pre-installed. But then again, that's a small wheel bike, but it is not foldable. So $6,500 as opposed to $5,000. What's the difference? The difference is Brompton comes ready-made with no installation, but it's a very feeble, very weak little motor in the rear with only 4 tiny gears. You can hardly even see them, they are so tiny. Whereas with the Brompton G kit, you have a massive front motor and you can run a Shimano or some other hub gear set in the rear, which will allow you for a much wider gear range. So you can actually use this kit to go pretty fast. More money, yes, more expensive, but much higher quality. Overall, the final product is far more desirable. So this is my verdict on the new Grin kit for the Brompton G Electric. If you wish to find out more about the various options available and how I have done it, how you can do it, you can get my book either from Amazon or for free even. It's listed on my Small Wheel Wonder shopping page, or you can go into the Learn DIY page. And I actually made up e-bike course that you can get right from the site. It's in the membership section of my channel, or I can send you a link direct if you pay me via these options. I also offer consultations if anybody is interested. So this is it for the new kit. I hope Grin is going to have success with it because frankly the stock Brompton G e-bike is an underwhelming product and the weakest part of it is the motor and also the lack of a good wide-ranging hub gear system.
I'll be back.